everyone and welcome back to Whiskey Wars. Today I'm going to be shooting my worst 3 Irish whiskies of all time. Now if you've seen my last video, I just did my top 3 whiskies of Irish whiskies of all time. So now it's time for my worst 3 of all time. I did this with bourbon I think in December or January and it seemed to do quite well, so I'm doing it now in March for Irish Whiskey Month. So if you do like these videos, please click the like button down below and do please click the subscribe button down below. That really helps the channel grow. So thank you, I really appreciate it. And today we're going to be doing my worst 3 whiskies of Ireland. So starting off at number 3. At number 3, I'm going to be showing you guys, it's a limited edition whiskey. I'm happy that it's limited edition. This is not one that I'd recommend you go out and buy. But I picked it up in duty free for a good price. Most of these actually I picked up in duty free for a good price, but this is going to be the Jameson Crested Stout Cask Edition. So it's not the Stout Cask, which is here, and it's not the Crested, which is here. It's actually a blend of the two. So it's the Jameson Crested, I believe, that's then just finished in stout casks, but it's different stout casks to the stout cask of the cask mates. A little bit confusing, I know. This is a 40% whiskey, just like a lot of Jamesons are. But for me, the combination just did not work. Now I've reviewed this, I've done a full review of this whiskey on my channel, and I've compared it to the Crested and also the stout cask. So if you'd like to see that, that's already on the channel. For me, it didn't work. It's the combination of flavours for me. So what I like about the Crested is it's full of orange and it's sweet. And what do I like about the stout cask? I like the chocolate, the coffee and the cream. It's very dessert-like, but it's like a bitter chocolate dessert. And I like them both in their own right, but merging the two doesn't work. It's just like having 2 favourite desserts, but if you blended the two, it just wouldn't work at all. Or 2 favourite drinks. You know, you wouldn't drink wine with beer and mix the two, would you? So for me, yeah, this combination just didn't work. Now I do know some other people do like this whiskey. For me though, it does make my worst 3 that I own. And I've got about 35 bottles of Irish whiskey, so yeah, this makes the my third worst. So please don't go out and buy this one. Unless the combination appeals to you and you just love Jameson and you want to buy all the Jamesons, then go right ahead. But for me, I would recommend saving your money and going elsewhere. Now it's time for number 2. For me, this is a whiskey that I've actually owned for about 3 years. Actually a little bit more, maybe 3.5 years. And just look how much I've drunk out of the bottle. This is the Hinch Peated. Now this was actually my first peated Irish whiskey and it almost put me off, but it's always good to just keep trying different whiskies in the same genre, because fortunately I did. I think the Silkies are very good peated Irish whiskies. The Teeling Black Pits is also a good one. I even prefer the Connemara to this one. This whiskey just did not work for me, as you can see. Now, I did a review on this, so I do recommend you check that review out, because it's pretty much a no holds barred review, where I really give my true thoughts on it. I do try to, well, I'm always going to be honest, but I do try to not go in as hard as I did, I think, in that review. But it's a good watch, so I recommend you clicking that for my thoughts on that whiskey. For me, it's just not a pleasant whiskey to drink at all. As you can see, 3.5 years to drink that much out of a bottle is quite poor. It's a poor effort. So yeah, number 2, Hinch Peated, bottled at 43%, and the price for that whiskey, I think it's around £45 in the UK, so not cheap. Okay, so it's time for number 1, my worst Irish whiskey that I own. I would never buy it again, but it is a popular whiskey and I think it's one of the most sold whiskies in the world. So I know it's going to be probably a controversial take on it, but I'll explain why I will never buy this whiskey again. For me, this is going to be the standard Jameson, bottled at 40%. Now I know, I'm going to get a lot of comments saying, how can you say that whiskey? I think it's amazing in cocktails. I think it's a great mixer. I think it's amazing value for money. But what if I told you that I bought both the cask mates, the stout and the IPA, for the same price as the standard Jameson? What if I told you that I bought the Jameson Crested for €2 or €3 more than the standard Jameson on an offer? ML for ML, the triple, which I think is a much better whiskey, was the same price in duty free, and that's a litre bottle. The point I'm trying to make is, I don't drink this whiskey neat. I just don't drink it neat. I get ethanol, vanilla, and a touch of apple. And really, with the quality of whiskey that's out there on the market now, you can get great deals out there. The improvement in quality and enjoyment and flavours in whiskey, I've mentioned a few, but there are plenty of other whiskies out there. Even if you threw them in a cocktail or a mixer, I just think they're miles better than the Jameson standard. So yeah, for me, that makes it at number one, because that is the one whiskey out of all these whiskies that I would enjoy the least out of all of them. So I've got to be honest, I know it's cheap, it's probably around €20, but for me, I'd rather pay €20 for the other whiskies that I mentioned, or even €2 or €3 more, because you're getting a far more pleasant experience. So for me, and I know it's controversial, but I hope I've explained that well, the Jameson Standard is my worst Irish whiskey that I own. So in summary, we have in number 3, the Jameson Crested Stout Edition. In number 2, we have the Hinch Peated. And in number 1, we have the Jameson Original. If you liked the video or found it helpful, please do click a like button down below, and please do consider clicking the subscribe button down below. That would really help the channel out, so I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it insightful. It's only meant to be a bit of fun, these sort of videos. I know different people have different opinions, so please do let me know in the comments down below. Out of the whiskies that I have here, I haven't mentioned all of them, I didn't want the video to be too long. I do have a recent video that I uploaded that was my entire whiskey collection, so I go through all my Irish whiskies here. Do let me know, out of these, what would your worst 3 be? And if I haven't got another Irish whiskey that you don't particularly like, please do drop that in the comments down below as well. It's just good for other people to go and look, and maybe they learn something as well as me. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you all for the next Whiskey War.